Hello and welcome to the Sounds of Nature with Dr. Matt. I am Dr. Matt, as some of you may already know, and today for this installment in my Relaxing Sounds series, I have chosen to record, well, as you might gather from this introduction already and the surroundings behind me and, well, everywhere around me, that I will be recording a selection of nature sounds. I have always been an avid fan of the wilderness, and I must say, of all the wildernesses I have explored, Yosemite National Park is perhaps one of the most robust and charming. One might even call it, well, magical. And so I'm here on a solo trip to Yosemite National Park, and I figured what a better way to exhibit the grandeur of nature itself, and also present to you a series of soothing sounds. So come along and join me on this journey to seek out and enjoy the sounds of nature. Let's begin. Okay, so here you see what is commonly referred to as the tunnel view, or, well, perhaps a bit elevated from the most well-known point, referred to as tunnel view. This is roughly what you see upon entering the Yosemite Valley area by car, and it is quite a sight. As you can see, there's quite a few enormous rock formations and cliffs going on for several miles, and well, I've hiked up a bit to get away from the crowds, and as you can see, there's a nice somewhat maintained trail going on here, but in many ways I am quite secluded. So let's take a bit of a walk. But I've noticed that the sound of my feet on the ground, with all this foliage, especially given the time of year, is quite soothing. So let's take a walk and see what we can get. I'm going to point the microphone at the ground now. Alright, so as you can see here, we have quite a pile of leaves. I'm going to step on these and see what kind of sounds they make. Let's get a nice view of the valley though first. I hear a bit of a rustling sound over there. I suspect it could be some sort of animal or other people. Let me go check it out, and I'll be back momentarily. Well, it seems I was a bit late with my recording, but a gust of wind just blew quite a few leaves off this tree, and there was quite well, I guess if you could call a cacophony soothing, a soothing cacophony of leaves cascading down from the tree. I do regret missing it, but perhaps we'll find another instance of this happening at a later point. We'll check back in later. Okay, so as you can see here, I have stumbled upon quite a large boulder or rock of sorts. I'm uncertain what the official term for this object would be, but I thought to myself, perhaps it would be amusing to do something I've done in my other productions before. And seems to be a bug flying around. But anyhow, I thought it might be a bit of a joke of sorts, but also perhaps effective to attempt something that I did in my previous productions of relaxing sounds with Dr. Matt, and that is a sort of gentle tapping. In my other videos, I would gently tap on small objects and the like, but well, obviously this is quite the inversion of that trope. So watch carefully as I approach this massive rock. I'll call it a rock, and see if I can make some soothing tapping sounds with it. Here we go. Okay. I think that'll about do it for this stone rock. Yes. All right, I'll see you again momentarily. Okay, so now I've found okay, so now I've found well, a pine cone. And there are quite a few pine cones on the ground over here, but I thought to myself, well, why wouldn't a pine cone make some relaxing sounds? So let's, at least with my one free hand, attempt to make some soothing pine cone sounds. I'm afraid I must be a bit careful with the pine cone as its edges are a tad bit sharp, but that's okay. Okay, so it appears that after a bit of a hike I have discovered what I can only describe as a sort of cave, and I must say there are some strange sounds coming from it. Well, normally I would be wary, but given the well, I'm not sure of the word for it, but I suppose the natural order of things in Yosemite National Park, that it could very well be a waterfall on the other side of the cave. So let's take a look and see if we can procure any relaxing sounds along the way. So follow me. Well, I must say the sounds of my feet on these rocks and pebbles is quite enjoyable indeed. How about we continue walking forward and see how much of this sound I can acquire. It appears that the number of rocks has perhaps dwindled as well, I almost misspoke and said rocked down this tunnel, but the proper word would of course be walked. But I am noticing at the end of this tunnel here, where all this sound appears to be coming from, is a bit of a light. I must say I'm unsure of what that is, given the red color does not resemble sunlight, but despite my otherwise timid nature, my sense of adventure is having me very curious right now. So I am not a believer in such foolish things as the supernatural, so I doubt there's any real danger to continuing down this path, except for perhaps the a threat of a bear, maybe, but to my knowledge, only docile black bears live in Yosemite, so that should not be much of an issue. Let's continue walking down this path towards the light and see what we get. I'm going to point the microphone at the rocks once again. Well, as you might be able to ascertain from the abrupt transition from the previous footage, you were, I hope, enjoying to this scene of sorts. I have made a bit of a miscalculation regarding my ability to, complete my Sounds of Nature with Dr. Matt presentation without a hiccup or two. And in this case, it seems I miscalculated the amount of battery charge remaining on my personal camcorder prior to going on today's hike. So I regret to inform you that this will most likely be the end of the Sounds of Nature with Dr. Matt. Either way, whether or not this video's length was to your liking, I do hope that you enjoyed this VHS videotape and that you, find yourself in a more relaxed state. And to those of you who may be wondering, well, Dr. Matt, why don't you just simply charge your camcorder and go out again tomorrow to pick up some more soothing nature sounds? Well, regretfully, I only have this cabin for tonight, and must be going home in the morning, so I'm afraid I do not have time for such a thing. However, I have enjoyed my relaxing, if rather short, stay at Yosemite National Park, and I hope to return soon, one day or month or year. I say year because I hopefully the phrase of one decade is not the proper descriptor in this circumstance. I do hope it will be sooner than 10 years before I return, but anyhow, this is Dr. Matt's sounds of nature, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a good evening or day or whatever it is where you are right now. Thank you for your purchase. Goodbye.